This is the top 5 scariest athlete in sports history. I recognize only one on the right. He was, I think, a Greco-Roman wrestler, Alexander Karelin, I think, who was like so utterly filled with drugs, probably like his body was just insane. Um, Otherwise, I don't recognize the others. Otherwise, I would say like the freakiest athletes in history is people like, I don't know, uh, Usain Bolt, in boxing maybe Mike Tyson, right? Uh, Eddie Hall maybe for like strongmen, right? I don't know. Tall maybe. Yeah, let's watch it by Wildant Conditioning, James Pialat.
Today we're going to take a rapid fire look at 5 men with such unbelievable physical abilities that they could have been mutants. I'm James Pratt, and we're going to take a look at their verified physical feats, as well as their insane genetics and how they train to build such unbelievable abilities. So let's just dive right in. Number 1. This mutant is one of the craziest athletes to ever live without a doubt. The largest cross-country skier of all time at 6'6" and up to 291 pounds with hands measuring 11 inches long, he dominated an endurance sport ruled by 150-pound men. Incredibly, this monster could do 20 strict pull-ups, run 6 miles in just over 30 minutes, and recorded an oxygen uptake of more than 7.2 liters per minute.
I was gonna say, isn't that like how does that even work? The bigger you are, the harder it is with like endurance sports, right? Because your body needs so much more energy and stamina to, to move and to do anything.
8% higher than prime Lance Armstrong, even when he was on performance-enhancing EPO, which is literally mind-blowing. What's more, our man repped 330 pounds on the barbell row, 440 pounds on the back squat, and had a resting heart rate of 31 beats per minute. His training focused on high-altitude training runs, weightlifting for reps rather than max weights, and tons of time spent in the sauna. And speaking of which, I've linked my personal discount code for top-quality saunas that I love below for anyone interested. They call this monster the Gentle Giant, but his name is Juha Mieto.
Okay.
Number 2.
Interesting. And with that EPO, if you guys don't know, EPO is like a drug that really helps with stamina, basically. But yeah, some people are freaks. I mean, in a good sense, right? Like in terms of like just innate genetic basic abilities to just I don't know, be very strong or have a lot of stamina or something like that, right? But at that size, it seems like insane, right? Because the bigger the size, the less stamina people have, right? Yeah.
We have one of the best shot put throwers of all time. At 6'7" and up to 280 pounds, he could run 100 meters at an Olympic speed of 11 seconds. Not quite as fast as the 10.25 seconds that Alan Wells ran to win the 1980 Olympic gold medal in the Soviet Union, or the sub-10 second times that we see in today's age of super shoes and energy returning track surfaces. But then again, this guy was 280 pounds and he wasn't even a sprinter. So this is just mind-blowing. What's more, he had hops like an NBA player and could hurl a 16-pound cannonball over 74.5 feet. His training focused on rapid stretch shortening of muscle fibers and building tendon stiffness using plyometrics, speed training, explosive weightlifting, and weighted jump exercises rather than...
Like this is the kind of people in terms of body type that would have been basically like some kind of, war chief in the time of the Vikings or something, right? They're just so, ridiculously built. It's insane.
Simply focusing on maximal strength. He believed that elastic strength rather than brute force was the secret to power, though he could still overhead press 573 pounds and power clean 462 pounds. They called him the Machine, but his name is Warner Gunther. Number 3 might be the most unbelievable man on this entire list. The largest wrestler of all time at 6'5" and 450 pounds, he dominated a sport built for men half his size.
Wow.
According to the greatest wrestler of all time, Dan Gable, this monster could bench press 600 pounds raw, not quite the 782-pound raw.
I mean, I know we're getting to Alexander Karelin eventually, and didn't he eventually get beat by someone who was basically, a kind of fat build, and that's kind of what defeated him? So it's like, sometimes there's like someone was a fat build and yet it really works, right? I mean, Butterbean in boxing was a good example. Like sometimes, again, like the fat build is efficient. It's weird.
bench press that set the world record, but given the fact that he didn't even train bench press and instead focused his training primarily on gymnastics, this is truly mind-boggling. He could also lift a 200-pound man overhead with one hand, and he sprinted 100 meters in under 14 seconds.
I mean, I know Andre the Giant was like a professional wrestler, you know, like the fake wrestling, but I wonder like if he had dedicated himself to feat of strength, instead of just lifting people. I wonder like, yeah, what kind of thing he could have done. But at the same time, I wonder if like it would have destroyed his body even faster than wrestling, maybe.
Even crazier, he could do a backflip despite weighing nearly a quarter ton, though it's unclear if this was a standing backflip or some sort of assisted backflip. Either way, absolutely insane. And it was said that when he competed in the Soviet Union, simply watching his warm-ups made the Russian crowds go so wild that the authorities feared a riot.
Okay.
He was an NCAA champion and an Olympic bronze medalist known as the Gentle Giant, but his name was Chris Taylor. Number 4 is a guy who once fell 40 feet in a circus act, sustaining a spinal fracture that paralyzed him below the waist. Doctors said he would never walk again, yet after more than a decade of following a home rehab program he designed for himself, he managed to become one of the strongest men in history, with a back squat of 992 pounds, and unlike powerlifters, he wore no powerlifting suit, a deadlift of 1,014 pounds in a Moscow circus demonstration, again without a powerlifting suit, and a raw bench press of 500.
What am I looking at? How does the mechanic of this even work? He's holding all this weight with what? That's crazy.
173 pounds. Even crazier, he performed a neck bridge with 1,540 pounds in Leningrad in 1982. He could also perform full front splits and planche handstands, easily juggle custom.
I wonder if this is the thing where, like, you know, in Muay Thai fighters often like, you know, they kick to train their legs, and often they get microfracture, which when they heal the bone stronger, right? I wonder if like this is what happened with his spine or whatever. Like, I don't know, like he just healed stronger basically.
Forged kettlebells weighing 165 pounds, and he performed single hand swings, snatches, and behind the back flips with another custom 198-pound kettlebell. His training focused on strongman sessions, powerlifting exercises, and tons of kettlebell work. But his name was Valentin Daikul. Our final maiden is considered the greatest heavyweight wrestler of all time. He was born weighing just under 15 pounds, or nearly 7 kilograms, before growing to 6'3" and 290 pounds, with a career wrestling record of 887 wins and only 2 losses. He went undefeated for 13 years at the highest level of wrestling, winning 3 Olympic gold medals and 9 world championships. He could deadlift 880 pounds, squat 770 pounds, do 42 pull-ups, and could perform a standing backflip despite weighing nearly 300 pounds. His training mixed conventional but extreme gymnastics, powerlifting, strongman, and kettlebell training, with more unconventional methods like carrying a refrigerator up and down 8 flights of stairs outside his apartment and going on long runs in the Siberian wilderness carrying a log on his back. He was such a freak athlete that they called him the Experiment, but his name was Alexander Karelin. And
wasn't it also because, like, it's very heavily think that, you know, he was pumped full of drug, right? It's kind of like the real life Ivan Drago, in a sense. I don't know. That seems kind of obvious, right? It's still pretty interesting. I mean, I always say it, but like, you know, sometimes I wish that there was like sport that had like division for people who were willing to do, you know, performance enhancing drugs. And, you know, obviously we all know it's bad and it kind of like reduces your life and stuff like that, but some people are clearly willing to do it, so I'm just saying, let them. And I just see people who pump themselves of the most drugs to be the strongest. Let's see how strong they can get. I'm just saying. Hello, Tatmaiden.
Free training program made up of his favorite conventional exercises in my training library and community, which I'll link below for anyone interested. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more.
I enjoyed it. Damn. I only knew Alexander Karelin, yeah. The others I didn't know. Pretty interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of like really interesting ultra strong people in history. And in modern history, again, like Andre the Giant, even though he wasn't really like a sports competitor, like there's no way his strength wasn't like, again, of this world, right? And for him, it wasn't like good genetic because it was like literally a disease that was killing him, and he died by like 40 something. And then you have like people like Eddie Hall today, Alftor, right? You know, it's just like, yeah, some people are just born different, and it's pretty awesome, you know. It's pretty awesome. Like, I always thought myself that I was pretty strong, you know, when I was young. Like, I always was trying to do something stupid to prove that I was strong. And one time at work, I was working in a place where we like, you know, cut trees in the like the rivers and stuff like that, right? And back at the, you know, the depot or whatever, we had delivery of like the like barrels of oil for the chainsaws, and these things were like 100 kilo, right? And everybody was kind of lazy, like everybody was not really willing to like unload it, right? So I thought I'll just do it myself. So I go to the truck and I try to like grab the 100 kilo barrel of oil like this, and it actually worked. But then I start walking with it while holding it like this, right? And I start walking with it, and I'm realizing, shit, my back is starting to like not feel great. So I take a few steps, and then I have to take like a step to get inside the actual place I need to unload the barrel. So then it starts to slip, and I try to like get into like a semi squat to like have the thing rest on my legs, but it's so heavy that it really hurts. Yeah, that's the one time where like I really gave up on the idea that I was strong. I mean, I kind of did it, but I didn't actually destroy myself, but I could feel that I was really close to like breaking something. And since then, I don't really try to do stuff like this anymore. You know, I touch wood. You know, I'm lucky that I never actually hurt myself doing stupid stuff like this. Yeah, that's my story. Here's the link.